Welcome everybody to Boxing Bonanza. I'm joined by Tasha Jonas. How was you and your Christmas, Tash?
It was good, thanks. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Is it a bit of a different feeling this time around with COVID and everything? How did you manage to get on with your Christmas?
We've got a massive family and we are very, very close. So it was a little bit different, a little bit quieter than usual. But we were taking turns going to see my nan because she's used to having absolutely everybody at hers, and obviously we couldn't do that this year. So we was all taking it in turns to go and see her.
Ah, that's nice. That's sweet. Did you manage to enjoy much of the Christmas indulgence?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we was like tier 2, so we was still able to go out till 10 o'clock and stuff.
Ah,
So
right.
I mean, we're not now, like, but it was good at the time, and yeah, it's just to catch up with a few faces and catch up on all the stuff we've missed out on since March.
Yeah. Do you feel guilty enjoying the fruits?
No, not really. It's very rare. Sorry, that I actually go out and maybe have a drink, eat too much. It's very rare in a boxing year. You get times and opportunities to be able to do that. So when I do, I enjoy it.
So before the holidays, you managed to swap the shorts and take a seat as a commentator. How did you find that?
It was good. It's something I enjoy. Obviously, you're talking about what you know, and you're being critical of other people's performances instead of your own. So that always helps as well. But yeah, I was lucky enough to be alongside some great people and some good commentators. So it was just adding value to it, I suppose.
And it was a massive night as well. Did it give you itchy knuckles?
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed not to be on that night, but I was happy to still be involved in some way. But yeah, just watching it, I was thinking, not it should have or it could have been me, but I could have been there. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. I don't dwell on it much.
When the camera's on you, it's normally fight time. When the camera come on you, when you're holding your microphone, is it a different kind of pressure?
Yeah, I get nervous, but in a different type of way. You've always got something in your mind to think of what to say, and obviously, like I say, it's boxing, it's stuff that you know about, but you're trying to put it in a way, you're cross in a way that doesn't make you look silly or not overcomplicate things, because not every person who watches boxing is a in-depth fan, so you've got to like simplify what you're saying and how you're saying it. So yeah, hopefully I do that well.
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm doing these, people think it might come natural, but sometimes I got something in my head that I'm going to say and just comes out something completely different, and it just comes out a lot of shit sometimes.
Yeah,
it's nerve-wracking.
Boxing fans are so fickle as well, so like there's a couple of commentators who get a load of stick for stuff that they say, so you're always trying to say stuff that you really genuinely, you go back on Twitter or any other social media stuff, that you can stand by what you say, because some people say stuff and then like you're like at home thinking, what are they watching? And then you're like, obviously sometimes they get home and then see it and think, oh, okay, maybe it's a difference or whatever, but you've got to be able to stand by what you say and say it with your chest. So I always try, and I'm not a person who tries to sit on the fence, you know what I mean, and please a certain station or a certain station fight or whatever. I just say what I see, and I try and do that to the best that I can.
And I think people appreciate that more. Like the honest commentators tend to do, like you say, get more stick, but the real fight fans do appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I just say what I see. I try and be as honest as I can.
So now all the fun and games are over. When are we looking to see Tasha in the ring next?
Soon, hopefully. Obviously it's been a little while out now. Whether that's a comeback fight or whether that's a world title challenge, I don't care what it is. I just want to box and be as active as I can. I'm one of them, more experienced, shall we say, boxers who haven't got time on the side. So I just want to, get as many fights in as I can and be as active as I can. yeah, try and sort out some deals and get in some big fights.
At the moment, I understand there's a bit of politics going on, maybe with Joe and Eddie Hearn. The last interview I seen was Joe Gallagher saying that Adam and Sky want you fighting for them. Is there anything you can give us on that?
There hasn't been any development as of yet. Of course, COVID doesn't help things with obviously a lot of boxing shows being cancelled. I think Matchroom have got quite a few fighters that they are contracted with, so they've got an obligation to get them out. Whereas myself, who's not under any contract with them, they don't. So the only good thing that I've got is potentially that I am a free agent, so I can go to anyone, whether that's Michaela Meyer with Top Rank, whether that's Hamadou Shaw or Harper or Choi with Matchroom, or whether it's going into another weight division and going to box somewhere else. So it favors me a little bit, but obviously with my given weight and my chosen weight is super feather, and that's Matchroom has them all. So it is what it is. But at the same time, I would never undersell myself just to get a fight. But what I believe is, like I say, what I believe, and I try and be as honest with myself as I can.
Did you manage to speak to Eddie Hearn or anything when you was at the AJ Pulev fight?
No, to be honest, I didn't. We was in two separate areas, because one's like a COVID and tested area, and the other one's is you haven't been tested, so you're not allowed to mix until after the event. So yeah, you kept away, and I see him around, and it's not really up to me to speak and get myself a deal. That's all down to MTK. So I'll leave it to them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Joe Gallagher was going off in his interview, the last one I seen. He was saying that you are managed by MTK and not himself, so Eddie Hearn shouldn't be taken out on his fighters.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens between Eddie and Joe, anyway, it's not me. It's not Callum Johnson. It's not Callum Smith. But they have worked together to get the Callum Smith Canelo fight underway, and Joe has apologised for the race comment. But no one seems to remember that he said that. So
So I'm gonna take it back. Sorry, I just put on silent.
No, it's all right.
So taking it back to your fight with Terri Harper, many believe that you won that fight. Does that make it harder for you to accept that most people think that you won?
Again, it's one of them things. If you sit there dwelling on it, what's the point? It's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to, do anything. I was frustrated at the night, and looking back, I'm still frustrated. But I can't dwell on it. I've got to move on. I'm not going to sit around waiting for Harper rematches all the time. And yeah, I've just got to move on and make sure that next time there isn't any left to the judges. You know what I mean? So. It is what it is. I've just got to get back on.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the correct attitude to have, that you can't sit around and waiting for the fight. If the fight did happen, would you expect the same Terri Harper?
I think you'd be stupid to think that any of us would come in the same fighter.
Yeah.
I think in the first fight, the cut changed a lot of changed the way I had to approach the next round. But I think I will be a lot different. I think she will be different. You would have to be. You'd be stupid to come in and think that you can perform the same and get a better result. So you have to step up your game every time, and that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Do you watch it back? Have you managed to watch it back? Because it's a fantastic fight. It's one of the best fights I've ever seen. It's brilliant.
I don't normally. For the first lockdown, Joe Gallagher's Academy went and dissected the Katie Taylor fight from the Olympics, and that was I was on the Zoom with them going through it, and what was the tactics and what was the game plan and what was my thoughts and whatever, and that's the first time since the fight happened that I'd ever seen that fight. Now the Terri Harper is totally different, because I was so frustrated that I've actually watched that a couple of times, and I actually think I win by a larger margin watching it.
Yeah. Yes, it was a huge part of women's boxing really for 2020, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of women excited to join the sport. What do you think about women's boxing going into 2021?
I think I think every sport has their eureka moments. For women's amateur boxing, it was the 2012 Olympics. For women's football, it was the Europeans and the World Cup. For women's netball, it was the Commonwealths, and for women's hockey, it was 2016 Olympics. And when your sport has that eureka moment, you have to keep riding that crest of the wave and keep it in the public eye, keep people interested and want to watch it. It has to be backed by big promoters, backed by big TV companies, supported by big businesses, and yeah, it just needs to keep it out there, and the media like yourselves, like the written paper, it all needs to be positive and supportive of the sport. So we've left 2021. It wasn't the greatest, activity wise, because of COVID and the restrictions and whatever, but some of the best fights of the whole fight camp series were the female ones, and a lot of people who sat on the fence and the naysayers agreed and enjoyed it. So now we've got them on side. We need to keep that going and keep pushing that and keep pushing the boundaries. We've had a free fight female card. Now let's push for an all female card. Let's push for to see females higher up the bills. Let's not just have a female on the card for tokenism. Let's see the progression and where they go, like we do with the males. So
yeah, it'd be fantastic. It'd be fantastic to see an all women's card. And I know, like, I'll be honest, a few years ago I wouldn't have wanted to see it, but now I think it's absolutely fantastic for the sport. This women's boxing it's just grown, it's blown up.
No, I agree. And like I said, we needed the back, and we always knew how good it was. We just needed everybody else to see it.
Yeah. So one thing I'd like to get your opinion on is obviously amateur boxing has been squashed now pretty much by COVID. You had a fantastic amateur career. What do you think is the effect it's going to have on grassroots boxing?
I was speaking to a young girl yesterday on a different Zoom, and she was struggling with the like, what do I do now? Where do I go now? I want to be a boxer. I know, we've come, like I say, since the 2012 Olympics, the structure, not just in female boxing, but in amateur boxing, has been improved. There is a clear pathway now for a female, junior, senior school girls, whatever, open class, novice, whatever, and what you have to do to get to where you want to get. And they've worked so hard to put that structure in place. And now, there's not going to be that participants to even do it. And people are losing motivation, and, boxing training is so hard, and you have to sacrifice a lot to do it. And when it's gone, it's hard to fill that void.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do they do now? We've lost out on a lot of government funding. You've lost out on, trainers, coaches, clubs are shutting down, and I just don't know. I can't even give an answer, because I don't know what there is to do. Once it's back open, I hope kids do fly in and remember like how mentally refreshing boxing was. How physically, you push yourself to the limits, and all them good things that we know. But I hope that they remember how rubbish it was sitting in your room. So, but I honestly, I can't give an answer, because I don't know. I don't know.
Especially in general rougher areas, it tends to push kids now back onto the streets, which will be even harder for them to get back in the gym as soon as they get a different lifestyle.
Yeah, and once you get to that, I was lucky when I started boxing. I was 21, so I'd kind of got over the going out drinking stage. I'd got over the boy stage, and I'd done all that. So when I was ready to be a boxer, I knew what I wanted. and I knew I was going to do it to get it. But you know, these young kids now, like you say, boxing is a sport that's renowned from coming from, you know, working class backgrounds, and you know, we all know the, like, you know, the demographics of it, and you know, the type of kids that we get in the areas that they're coming from, and that's it. You're just going to see, I would think that you could see an increase in crime, you could see an increase in, you know, antisocial behaviour and all this stuff, but the kids have just got nothing else to do.
You say you spoke to the young girl yesterday. How much do you have much involvement now with the amateur boxing?
Not really, not so much anymore. I mean, when I retired from amateur boxing and had my daughter, I was being like a part-time coach in the Rotunda. Like I said, boxing takes up so much time of your life. You have to be able to fill it with a void. And I think going back and you know, being a coach, it was a fun, but in a different kind of way. And it was giving something back, because I think the club would give so much to me. And yeah, I just don't, as a professional athlete, I just don't have that time. I'm already juggling school runs and training sessions and travel and, you know, bedtime, sleeps, fed, and I'm struggling all that. I just don't have time to fit in, you know, sessions in the Rotunda.
How hard do you find it juggling being a mum and a full-time fighter?
It is tough, especially in lockdown situations like this now. And during the Harper camp as well, you know, it was the 1st of June. There was no point in sending my little girl back for like 2 weeks of school. So she came to the sessions with me. We all was all tested, was all in a bubble. And it was just, you know, she was at every session sparring. She was pouring the water in my mouth for me. We were skipping together. I was chasing her down the track, and you know, it was a brilliant camp for that reason, that she was so involved. I don't think I possibly won't have another camp like that. But at the same time, they were the things I had to do, because there was nowhere else. I couldn't take her to my nan's. My nan was isolating. I have obviously, like I said before, I've got a big family, and they're my support network. So, you know, if one sister or cousin can't pick her up, somebody else, my mum will, my auntie will. So when the restrictions, you can't mix with other households, I struggled massively, and we was allowed a bubble, but you know, it just didn't, it just wasn't going to work. So she just had to came along, and I presume that not many men would have to do that.
Yeah. Does Mini Miss Trunchbull, I seen her her Halloween outfit. It is brilliant. That was. Does she enjoy the gym as well?
Yeah, we do our little sessions and stuff, and she's football mad at the minute. Obviously, we went to watch our my little sister Nikita Paris in France in the World Cup, and ever since then she's like, "Mommy, I want to be like Auntie Kita. I want to be like Auntie Kita." So all she wants to do is play football. So Kingsley, I've got a little under 5 side where they're just doing training at the minute. So she has been going there. Obviously, it's off now. But yeah, we've been working on footy. In the first lockdown in March, we had after like 3 days of homeschool, and I'd had enough. I don't know about her, but I'd had enough. So we were like, right, let's do an Olympics. So every day we do different events in the Olympics, and you know, that's what I mean. It's fun, and you learn new things about yourself. But yeah, she enjoys being active, and I wouldn't push her into any sport. I just, you know, open her eyes to every sport, and she'll either find her or she'll find one.
And hopefully she'll stick to football where she can get the money, and she don't have to get punched in the face.
Yeah, no weight making.
I know the kids are bribed upstairs now, Tash, so I'll let you get on with your day. And thank you very much for joining me. It's lovely. It's a pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you. Cheers for that. Thank you.
I'll hopefully catch up with you soon.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Tash. See you later.
See you later. Right.
Linking on my brain. okay, okay, okay.